Do you ever wonder why some men never get the respect they deserve from the women they love? It's not because they're not good enough. It's because they never learned when to walk away. When you never walk away, you send a message that you'll always remain. It doesn't matter what she says or how she acts. It doesn't matter how distant she becomes or how cold her energy feels. You've shown her that your loyalty isn't built on mutual respect, but on your fear of losing her. And that kind of loyalty, that's not strength. That's not honor. That's self-betrayal. What starts as love can quickly twist into something else when you lower your standards, just to keep someone who no longer sees your worth. Each time you ignore the emotional coldness, each time you silence your needs to avoid an argument, each time you push harder after being dismissed, you're revealing how little you truly expect to stay. And when someone realizes you'll stay regardless of their effort, they stop putting in effort at all, not out of evil, not because they're heartless, but because human nature kicks in. We naturally stop valuing what feels permanent. So if you believe you're protecting the relationship, you're not. You're planting the seed of resentment. You're teaching her to rely on your presence without earning your respect. And when someone no longer needs to earn your presence, it loses its value. You become part of the background. And the saddest part? Most men don't even realize it. They think that by being constantly present, always dependable, and weathering every emotional storm in silence, they're showing strength. But there's a clear difference between being strong and being invisible. When you give up your ability to walk away, you give up your ability to command respect. Because what you accept continues, and when you let disrespect go unchecked, it becomes normal. Not just for her, but for you. You adapt to being overlooked. You get comfortable with being treated like an option. You start to believe that maybe this is just how love feels, but that's a lie. Love doesn't mean laying down your dignity to prove your devotion. A woman cannot deeply admire a man who never defends himself. She might pity him. She might put up with him. But admire him? No. And without admiration, love turns mechanical. It becomes routine. It grows cold. Then it disappears entirely. You can't keep showing up for someone who doesn't notice when you're gone. And sometimes, walking away isn't an act of anger. It's a lesson that staying would send the wrong message, that you can be taken for granted, that you have no breaking point, that her attention is all it takes to buy your soul. Don't allow that. Your presence should be earned, not assumed, not a backup plan, not a guaranteed spot in her life story. Let your absence deliver the lesson your tolerance never could. Love without structure, boundaries, and standards, it slowly mutates into emotional dependency. Affection becomes attachment. Connection becomes survival. And when that happens, when love is no longer built on respect, but on the fear of loss, you're no longer a partner. You're a prisoner. Understand this. Love without standards isn't noble. It's not romantic. It's unstable. It's chaos in disguise. It tells the other person, you don't have to grow. I've already lowered my expectations to meet you where you are. Even if she can't explain it, she feels it. That silent surrender where you show her with your behavior that she can do anything and you'll still stay. That's not loyalty, that's desperation in disguise. And you confuse your silence with patience. You convince yourself this is what commitment is. But you're not being committed. You're avoiding the pain of being alone. So you cling, you chase, you over-explain. And with every move, your self-respect crumbles. She sees it. Maybe she won't say anything, but she senses the shift. The fire she once felt for you flickers. Not because you're less, but because your energy became too predictable, too safe, too available. She knows you'll always text first. She knows you'll smooth over the fights. She knows she can be distant and you'll justify it. And what does that teach her? That she doesn't need to protect your heart, because you don't protect it either. You become invisible in the relationship. Your voice fades. Your needs disappear. Your focus becomes about not upsetting her. You say to yourself, if she's okay, then I'm okay. But are you really? You feel it, don't you? That building resentment, that creeping loneliness, that frustration of loving someone who keeps showing you she's not really trying anymore. And still, you stay, hoping, sacrificing, wishing, telling yourself that this pain is proof of your loyalty. But ask yourself, if you have to destroy your identity just to hold on, is it love or is it fear? True love is built on boundaries and mutual respect. It says, I love you, but I won't be treated like I'm disposable. It says, you matter to me, but I matter too. That balance is what keeps passion alive. It's what prevents love from becoming a one-sided performance. You have to let her know that your love has a cost, not through threats or ultimatums, but through silent strength, unwavering standards, and the power of non-negotiables. Because the second you make her believe that your love is permanent, no matter what she does, the foundation of your relationship cracks. Love without boundaries won't make you a stronger man. It makes you a shattered one. You don't earn her heart by losing your backbone. And you won't keep her respect by silencing your worth. Let your standards speak louder than your feelings. Because if she can't rise to meet them, she was never meant to stand beside you. People value what they fear losing. That's not cruelty, that's psychological truth. We are wired to chase what isn't guaranteed. And when someone knows you're always there, they stop choosing you. You become expected, not appreciated. And what's expected is rarely respected. You might believe you're proving love by sticking through everything, by always reaching out, forgiving, fixing. But over time, you become invisible. You're not showing her how much you care. You're showing her how little she needs to care. That's the cost of emotional permanence. When you offer your love with no requirements, you teach her that she doesn't have to try, that she's already won, that she can stop showing up, and the love starts to decay, not all at once, but slowly, in the silence, in the lack of appreciation, in the absence of effort. And the more you try to make up for it, the less she sees you. Not because you don't matter, but because she no longer feels the need to earn you. And people don't value what's handed to them for free. You want to change the dynamic? Change your energy. Stop doing the same things and expecting different results. Stop being emotionally available to someone who barely sees you. Step back, not to punish, but to rebalance. Let her feel your absence. Let her wonder why your energy isn't the same. Let her question where it went. Let her miss what she assumed would always be there. Because sometimes the most powerful move isn't to love harder, it's to love smarter, to protect your energy instead of pouring it endlessly into someone who's no longer meeting you halfway. And when you finally do that, when you shift the focus back onto yourself, everything changes. If she truly values you, she'll notice, she'll respond, she'll step up. But if she doesn't, that silence is your answer. You're not losing her. You're waking up from the illusion that she was ever truly present. When your time becomes sacred, your presence does too. A man who ties his emotions to someone else's inconsistency slowly loses himself. He tells himself it's love, but really he's just become emotionally dependent. When she's warm, you're happy. When she's distant, you're anxious. When she pulls away, you chase. When she returns, you forgive instantly. That's not love. That's emotional instability wearing the mask of devotion. And it drains you. You keep analyzing, blaming yourself, trying to decode her silence. You live in limbo. And over time, you become a shadow of yourself, quiet, nervous, unsure. Your self-worth tied to her attention. You lose sight of the man you were. And the longer you stay, the more you teach yourself to tolerate chaos. Until one day, you wake up with nothing left to give. Just exhaustion, just silence. And still she doesn't change because she doesn't have to. She knows she can test your limits and you'll stay. She knows she can be careless with your heart and you'll still offer it. You must reclaim your emotional center. That doesn't mean becoming cold, it means becoming clear. Clear about your worth. Clear about what you will and will not accept. Emotional strength is not about suppressing pain. It's about leading through it. It's saying, I love you, but this chaos is not love. It's having the backbone to say, I won't sacrifice peace just to keep this going. Stop mistaking chaos for passion. Stop thinking that the highs justify the lows, because the longer you stay, the more you teach yourself to accept less, and eventually you forget what peace even feels like. If she valued you, she wouldn't gamble with your soul. She wouldn't play games with your silence. She wouldn't test you just to see if you'll break. But she's not afraid of losing you because you never showed her what that really feels like. That ends now, when you stop reacting and start reflecting, when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, when you say, no more. That's when your emotional clarity returns, and with it, your strength. The man who holds his standards doesn't need to yell. He doesn't need to beg. He becomes undeniable. And if she can't rise to meet you there, let her fall away, hey? Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Because not everyone deserves to meet the new version of you. The one who finally learned that love without respect is just manipulation in disguise. So remember this. Sometimes your silence speaks louder than your love ever could. And walking away, that might be the most powerful message she'll ever hear. If this message hit, don't just sit with it, act on it. And if you're ready to keep growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, make sure you subscribe to Magnetic Mindset. This is where we tell the truth, the kind that makes you stronger, the kind that wakes you up. Tap that subscribe button and join a community of men who are done being emotionally ignored. Your mindset is your power. Own it.